Little turbulence.
Frogman!
About 200 knots, so now we'll come back to it.
Without wings, I'm scared to death
It's
of...
a lot cooler up here. I'm liking it up here better.
Pretty impressive. It's still a little bit in the fog.
Welcome back to Winging It, and we're on our way today from Redding Airport to San Luis Obispo, and we can go see the ocean and enjoy ourselves a little bit, so come with us. Tower 782 Julia Bravo is ready at 16 Delta.
782 Julia Bravo, ready to runway 16, clear takeoff, proceed on course.
Clear for takeoff, on course, 782 Julia Bravo. Always confirm the right runway, that says 16, not right or left, and this is 16 as well.
Stall.
We're not going to do a short field takeoff today. We'll climb out at about 130 or so, maybe 140. Departure Mooney 782 Juliet Bravo through 1,700 for 1,500.
November 782 Juliet Bravo, open center radar contact 3 miles south of Redding Airport, Red Bluff altimeter 3000.
000 in the window, 782 Juliet Bravo. Can't wait till we get up to a density altitude that allows a little cooler temperatures right now. I'm so lazy, I think I am going to throw on the autopilot for the climb. If anybody's getting their private pilot's license, I suggest you go right on to get your instrument license. Whether or not you learn instruments by primary versus secondary or control and performance, it'll make you a much better pilot. Once you realize how to use your attitude and your power, at a certain attitude and a certain power setting, something will happen. As long as the plane is doing well, something will happen. And it's supposed to happen. And for that matter, if it doesn't happen, you also have a heads up that there's something wrong maybe with your airplane. So in a typical
Over, just be advised, just
airplane,
turn 180 heading back to Redmond Airport.
7.5 degree pitch up. And 7.5 and 8 degree pitch up is usually around DY for an airplane. You'll notice right now we're only 5 degree pitch up because I wanted to keep it cool, and our airspeeds are 138 knots right now, our indicator airspeed. So we're keeping the airplane really cool. Last time I think we got as high as 380 something in the climb, and that was with the low boost pump on. Now we don't even need the low boost pump, and despite the hot temperatures, we're keeping it below 370. It's 363 right now, the cylinder head temperatures. When you're running rich of peak, it seems to me you almost always don't have to worry about your turbine inlet temperatures. That's be more sensitive to when you're lean of peak. It's a lot cooler up here. I'm liking it up here better. Now this airspace near Paso Robles may be a problem. 2504 Alpha. But that's only that's an Alpha and Beta there though. I think the Beta goes up much higher.
Going back to Sacramento International, or are you going somewhere else?
Beta goes from 6,000 to 15, so we just have to make sure that one's not active today.
International Airport via direct.
It's probably not active today. And I love this airplane. It's such a beautiful airplane. Over here, down near San Luis Obispo, just west of Paso Robles, is 2504. Our current course is going to take us directly over that. So we're probably going to have to go either east or west to go around it. We're going to be east of the San Francisco airspace, so we don't really need to be at 1,500, but I think we'll get there faster. We'll be well above Sacramento, so there's really no airspaces on the way that we need to be concerned about. We do have a significant headwind today, because our true airspeed is 161. Now this is interesting. If we could take our true airspeed, as we talked about, our true airspeed, 162 divided by 137, and we have 1 over the density altitude ratio, the square root of the density altitude ratio, compare that, then 1 over
And November 993, Juliet Bravo, do you copy?
We have about 70% density altitude.
Frequency VFR 15,700. Okay.
Which is the density on the ground, we're 68%. See what the computers are calculating.
993, Juliet Bravo.
That's about right then. Our density altitude is 12,000 already. Wow.
Thank you.
If you go into the auxiliary pages on a G1000 or G3000, you can see the actual density altitude calculation right there. Roughly 22,000 feet is half, and we're at 12,000, so that's about 60% or so. Let's see what the difference is when we finally level off. Let's get some of the power off here once we level off. We're okay to run above 30.5 for a minute because you're going to do it in a climb anyway, as long as you're full mixture rich. And you can see our cylinder head temperature is only 350, so that's fine. But it helps us get to our drag bucket a little bit quicker and level off, so we're at the correct coefficient of lift or angle of attack of the wing. We have above 200 knots, so now we'll come back to it. 30.5, the cruising power for these engines, and we'll lean it. Now we go rich at peak.
903, Juliet Bravo, open, roger.
I don't like to spend a lot of time near peak, obviously. I find that about 63. So we'll see what happens. Our cylinder head temperatures are 354. Our airspeed is 201. Density altitude is 0.68 in the standard atmosphere. So at 22,000 feet, you're roughly half. At 40,000 feet, you're 1/4 the density. So right now we're 0.68 the density. Well, that's pretty cool. 68, I'd have to look at the table, but it should be roughly 12 or 13,000 feet. And if we look at our density altitude, yeah, between 12 and, yeah, we're 12,600 feet. It's 1,000 feet higher right now. So the day is so hot that the air is so thin that it's the equivalent of being in the standard atmosphere at 12,600. We're still doing 201 knots true airspeed in this airplane, which is awesome. And that's at full fuel, so we're heavy, and we're still doing that. I'm going to put my seat back to decrease trim drag, and maybe we'll go a little faster. Remember, in most general aviation aircraft, the horizontal stabilizer is always pushing down. Unlike a canard, which both wings are pushing up. Wright brothers tried to do that too. The Wright brothers had a canard. Well ahead of their time. The trouble is the stability in those is not as good as the stability in something that has a horizontal stabilizer that's pushing down. But the less it's pushing down, the less waste of energy. So if we can push everything back and go to the rear center of gravity limits, the plane would go faster. We're still doing 190 knots over the ground,
5.4,
even with the headwind that we have, which is calculated up there to be 18, 20 knots, but it's like 20, 22 or something up here. We have it at 12,000, yeah, so that's roughly where we're at now. Switch tanks, 202 knots, 202, 203 knots, that's about right. Even though it's dirty, I'd like to clean this airplane someday. I bet you we do a lot faster than this. Out of curiosity, 186 knots, let's put it down as 66. That would be another 20, 25 minutes in the air if we were flying a turbo Cirrus right now. Advantage. I always find this plane really comfortable. I've had plenty of students that were 6'4". I had one guy's son 6'6". No problem flying the Mooney. It's definitely a little bit more narrow. But I feel like there's plenty of room in here. Well, let's take a look. It's got such big runways and nothing big happening today. But we're probably going to land on runway 11, which is over 6,000 feet long. Pretty much its surface at sea level, so there's not any significant density altitude. It's a little hotter, but you're not going to make much of a difference. And I don't think there's any wind per se, so there's no factors to take into account since the average landing for this airplane is, it says according to the book, at the normal airspeeds is going to be roughly 2,000. We're up to 381, 30.5.
Aspen 43 to maintain 2,000.
12,000. 21.1, we're burning 22, and I'm not keeping it cool enough. And then it'll start to come down later. So if we add...
Aspen 43, join the localizer and expedite descent down to 2,000.
Reach 10 degrees above. So currently at 12,000. And we're exactly 12 degrees above, so it's another 0.5, so 21.8. And I got 22.2, and I'm still not keeping it as cool as I'd like to. It's 381. But it'll start coming down as we get further in the trip, and I'm not exactly sure why that happens. I'm going to ask my mechanic why it's actually temporarily up into 380s, and then later on in the flight it'll start coming down to 360s. See if the slow blow fuse between the batteries is working, and it is. Either one of them, 0 amps charging and 0 amps charging, so they're both charging each other. Then of course I'm concerned again, as we talked about, if you run it too rich, eventually that carbon buildup on the spark plugs. If you run it too lean, you get lead bromide precipitating out of fuels, right? So even though it's low lead, I'm running it rich right now because I'm hoping that my cylinder head temperatures will start coming down. Turbine inlet temperatures are great. They're always below 1610, 1620. You can see the clouds coming in from the ocean. When we passed, Monterey still had cloudy. It was still cloudy. You can see it from the little green flag here. Green is marginal VFR. You can see that. We're into our descent into San Luis Obispo. We're 18 minutes out and in a slow descent. We're going to continue that slow descent down. That's the restricted airspace that we were talking about. We're about to go over that. Really cool the way the clouds are going out, but not going out far enough, which is why half the coast is cloudy, which is why we decided to go to San Luis Obispo, because it's not cloudy there. So if you fly a parabolic arc, if you can, it's like throwing a baseball. If you fly a parabolic arc, that's the quickest way to get to anywhere. So if you spend a third of the time climbing, a third of the time in the cruise, and a third of the time coming down, you have to take into account winds, right? So if you have a headwind, then it's going to be, you have to still do it by time, not by distance. So it's the time it's going to take you for the flight, 1/3 climbing, 1/3 cruise, 1/3 coming down. Closer you can get to a parabolic arc, most efficient the flight will be as far as time-wise. There's some beautiful lakes here. Pretty sure they're man-made, but they're still beautiful lakes. I do want to come to an airport here and see if we can get a boat on those lakes. Now we're going right through that restricted airspace that they said was not hot today. Soon we'll be in the cool ocean breeze by the ocean with beautiful cloudless skies. And 782 Juliet Bravo is going to continue a slow descent to 5,500. And we only have 7 minutes, so let's get the nose down and start coming back more on the power. Now we'll use the potential energy, turn it into kinetic energy, and we can start coming back on our power, so keep the engine not cooling, we're slowly coming down. Still maintain a pretty good airspeed over the ground. So a little over an hour and 40 minutes. It's not bad from Northern California when we started off with a 20-knot headwind or 20-knot headwind. Approach Mooney 782 Juliet Bravo descending at a 5,800. We have information Golf.
For 782 Juliet Bravo, Santa Barbara approach. Thanks for Golf. VFR descend at your discretion.
782 Juliet Bravo descending at a 4,700 for the field.
782 Juliet Bravo, San Luis Tower Port midfield right down 1029.
We'll call midfield right downwind for 29, 782 Juliet Bravo. You can see the airport. We're set up for a midfield right downwind for 29. It's perfect.
Foxtrot. You'll be giving way to the airliner, and then
I want to expend this potential energy into kinetic energy while coming down on our power at the same time. And pattern altitudes are usually about 1,000 feet above the ground for our class of airplane. It would be about 1,200 feet or so. Little turbulence. We should slow up here.
2 Juliet Bravo, traffic straight out off the departure and the runway is the Mooney.
All right, we got company traffic in sight. 782 Juliet Bravo just coming up on the midfield right downwind call.
782 Juliet Bravo, roger your phone. The aircraft on a 1 mile final report of insight.
Looking, don't have me yet, 782 Juliet Bravo. Prepare for landing here. Insight, 782 Juliet Bravo.
782 Juliet Bravo, roger, follow that traffic, runway 29, you're cleared to land in number 2.
Clear to land number 2 behind the traffic, 782 Juliet Bravo. Yes, undercarriage, mixture, prop.
Delta X-ray inbound with Golf.
Lights.
Foxtrot, roger, you can turn right on Foxtrot, Foxtrot Alpha to ACI jet.
Foxtrot Alpha to ACI, 78 on the Foxtrot.
Four 671 Hotel, free exchange crew, have a good day.
Have a good day, 7 Hotel.
Did it too short. Too short for what I wanted to do.
Stall. 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 Stall.
Record 2250, you still up?
ACI jet, we just switched over to ground, 782 Juliet Bravo.
Juliet Bravo, no problem. Turn right on Alpha, taxi ACI jet.
Right on Alpha, over to ACI, 782 Juliet Bravo. The nice cool ocean breeze, oh, that's beautiful. Of course, just timing, because you want to have the engine below 1,000 RPMs to cool down the turbos. About 5 minutes or so. That while you're taxiing, it saves some time. All right, there's one Mooney, two Moonies, three Moonies. I think they know how to tow Moonies around here. I would imagine, with this amount of Moonies around here. See you in San Luis Obispo. Bye.
We're currently in San Luis Obispo at ACI Jet. I've been to a lot with my over 10,000 hours. I've been to a lot of FBOs. This is clearly the best FBO that I think I've ever been to. Between the snacks and the service and prices, they're just absolutely phenomenal here. They have wine, the water, and all the sodas are free. They have ice cream in here. Different flavor ice creams. They have muffins. So if you ever stop by San Luis Obispo, they even have bicycles to rent. Take a look at this. I shouldn't say for rent. These are free for pilots. You just have to sign them out. They have actually electric bikes. And people are so sweet in this FBO. Shout out Troy. Shout out Rachel, Jasmine, Colin. All right, we'll see you over in San Luis. Welcome to San Luis Obispo. Actually, this is San Luis Harbor, but welcome. So we're here at Mercy's, and we've never been here before. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's very windy. You would think it would be too cold, but it's not. You can hear the sea lions in the distance right there behind us. Seems like a wonderful place for some seafood. I'm going to try the clam chowder. That is excellent clam chowder, actually. Hi! Frogman! Wow. Really cool. Montaña de Oro State Park at the Bluffs Trail. And it's, again, I'm great when I have a pair of wings, even if I have no engine, as long as I have the wings. But without wings, I'm scared to death of heights. We're here at Morro Bay. That's Morro Rock right there. And afterwards, we're going to go to the beach and check out the rock. And we're having lunch at Tognazzini's Dockside. It's a fish place, and all fresh fish. And obviously, you can see it's very busy. I can't wait to try it. But yeah, I thought we'd share this. This is Morro Rock. It's a little drive from the airport where we landed, but it's worth it. I want to go fishing. We're here at Morro Rock, and actually we're at Morro Beach. Morro Rock is behind us. It's pretty impressive. It's still a little bit in the fog. It's really cool.